Dave here tonight with a mock draft. We got about 2 weeks to go before the draft, so things are coming to a head really quickly. So I'm looking forward to that. Mike is, let's say, not in the building today. So tonight I'm going to do a mock draft. There's going to be a couple of trades in this mock draft, and we're going to see if we can make those things happen and make some changes. And there's going to be a couple of surprises. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to proceed pretty much straight into that. And we're going to start today again with the Sports Skita mock draft board. And we're going to go in there and we are going to restart the mock. If I can get it to restart, can I get it to restart? It won't restart. This might be a very short video. I go there and I restart. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go with one round. We're going to go all the teams. So we're going to click the all button. We're going to enter the draft and we're going to make all the picks in round one. And round one starts with Chicago at the top of the draft. The consensus has still been, I think, that they're going to go ahead and draft Caleb Williams. So that's what we're going to do to get things started. Take Caleb Williams with the first pick overall. He's been talked about a lot, and I think everybody knows all about Caleb Williams. The number 2 pick is the Washington Commanders, which is a terrible name. I hope they change it to something decent. And yeah, I do think they're going to go with the other guy, other quarterback, Jaden Daniels, who's ranked pretty high, but I don't think he's quite as high as this. But we'll see how he develops as a pro. There's a lot of questions still, I think, about him. Speaking of questions, that leads us to the number 3 pick. And at this point, I do think New England is going to stay and pick. And the guy they're going to pick, I believe, is Drake May, the third quarterback off the board in the first 3 very, very quick picks. Now, at this point, the question you have is the Arizona Cardinals. Are you going to go back to pick the Cardinals to have them trade with someone like Minnesota or somebody else who could move up and get a quarterback? I don't think that's going to happen. I think that, by the way, I'm wearing this is all my Kraken gear. I'm wearing my Kraken stuff and my Kraken hat, ready to go. So it's Kraken Boy Dave here today. But anyway, I think they're going to stick and pick because the best player on the board is still on the board. So we're going to go back to our board. We're going to see the number 1 pick right here is Marvin Harrison Jr. He fits a need as a wide receiver. So I don't think the Cardinals are going to trade down. They're going to stay, and they're going to pick Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, this gets us to our first change, our first trade, and that is with the San Diego L/LA Chargers. The Chargers have a lot of needs. They don't have much talent, but they can pull off something really, really unique here. Jim Harbaugh is the new coach. I think Jim Harbaugh is going to try to pull off something really memorable. And I think that something is going to be trading their quarterback, Justin Herbert, out of Oregon. I think he's 5 years he's been in the league now, trading Justin Herbert to the Minnesota Vikings for their 2 picks at 11 and I believe 23. And then they're going to stay, and they're going to have 3 first-round picks, and they're going to stay and pick at number 5. And I think what they're going to do at number 5 is take a surprising player, but a guy that Jim Harbaugh knows really, really well. And that would be quarterback J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan. I believe he goes number 5 overall to the San Diego /LA Chargers. At 6, I think we kind of return to form here. Not a lot of choices for the Giants. It'd be great if they could get a quarterback. They like the tackles. But I think they're going to go with this guy, Malik Neighbors, the wide receiver from LSU. He's been the guy who's been rumored as a potential pick by the Giants. I think that's probably going to happen. Now, at 7, we have the Tennessee Titans. Titans have a lot of needs, but the main needs that they have, quite honestly, is a tackle. And there are the full complement of tackles, left and right tackles are available here. Olubamaya Fashanu is there, and also Joe Alt. Alt is the bigger player. I think Alt is physically stronger than Fashanu, but he probably also has a little less athletic ability than Olumaya Fashanu. I think Olumawai, well, yeah, whatever. Olumawai Fashanu. I think the Titans are going to stick and pick, and they're going to take Olumawai Fashanu simply because the two players, Alt and Fashanu, are really close together in terms of their rankings. You can see on our board here, they were 9 and 10. They're both left tackles. They need an anchor at left tackle. They have Will Levis at quarterback. They probably going to have to get some receivers down the road in the second or third round. But at the same time, I think Fashanu gives them a building block, and it's a safe pick. And I think that likely they will make the safe pick. So we're going to go back to the simulator again, and we're going to pick here number 8 for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, everybody seems to have an edge rusher mocked to the Falcons here. So Jared Verse, Dallas Turner, Chop Robinson. I guess that makes sense, except that they just spent $180 million getting a quarterback in Kirk Cousins. So in trading up for a quarterback, you got to give that quarterback some weapons. Now, they took a guy, Kyle Pitts, a couple of years ago as a tight end. He's been okay. He hasn't been great. So in my mind, you take the best player on the board. Atlanta Falcons. You take Brock Bowers, the tight end from Georgia, who's your next potential superstar at tight end. He's a guy who could replace Travis Kelce as the number 1 tight end in football. So then you trade Kyle Pitts to someone else down the road, some team that needs receivers, needs players that can, for instance, Tennessee is a team that can do that. So at any rate, Brock Bowers, I think, goes at number 8 to Georgia. Now here comes our second pick, and our second trade pick, and that is the number 9 pick with Chicago. Now, there's a lot of teams that would like to trade up here. Chicago just they took their quarterback. They've got 2 receivers already in Keenan Allen and I want to say DJ Charles, and that's not his name. You know who I'm talking about, the other guy that was really good last year at at the Bears. Anyway, I think this is a prime pick to trade. They only have, I think, 3 or 4 picks in this draft. I think they could trade it for a couple of picks this year, maybe one next year. And there's a lot of teams down here who could possibly move. And that would be, I got to go back here. Would like to move up. The Broncos would be one. The Vikings, if they were still in this draft, they have Justin Herbert now. So this pick is actually going to be LA Chargers. The Raiders could possibly move up. The Colts have talked about moving up. The Saints have talked about moving up as well. But the big team with the big need, in my mind, is our team. And that is, of course, the Seattle Seahawks at number 16. So I'm going to now try to mock a draft or mock a trade and show you how I think this might work out. So we're going to propose trade. In the trade, we're going to start with the team proposing it is going to be Chicago. The team that's going to be trading with them is going to be, if it's on here, the Seattle Seahawks. We're going to confirm that. So Chicago only has 975 and 122 left. Would they like some more picks? Yeah, they probably would. So Seattle, I'm going to say, is going to offer them the 16 pick in the first round for the 9 pick, the 118 pick, the 102 pick in the 4th round. This is a pick we got from Washington in the Sam Howell trade. It was a ridiculously high price to pay to trade from 78 down to 102 to get Sam Howell. Unbelievably, that brings up a whole new a whole new meaning for me, or a whole new meme that's going to start here. And I think we're going to talk about that in the coming days. And that is when Mike and I are working together. And that is, does John Schneider know how to trade? And I'm beginning to question whether he knows how to trade. But to top this off, Seattle's going to have to give up something big next year. That's probably going to be our first round pick next year, which is it's going to be tough. But if we get a quarterback, it's going to change the face of our franchise and the direction of our franchise. I think that could happen. So this is the proposed trade. Seattle trades 16 and 102 plus their first round pick next year, which averages out to the 16th pick next year, to Chicago for the number 9 overall pick. So we're going to propose that trade. We're going to confirm it, and it's been rejected. So we're going to go back and we're going to try it one more time. And we're going to propose trade, and we're going to flip it. We're going to do it this way with Seattle, and we're going to pick Seattle, and we're going to pick Chicago, and we're going to confirm that, and we're going to trade 16 and 102 for 9, and also our first round pick next year. We're going to propose that pick, that trade, and we're going to confirm it, and it's been rejected again. So basically, we can screw this entire scenario in my mind. I'm not going to fight with the board. We're going to go ahead and move on and go back to where we were, which was Chicago at number 9. They need picks. They need to trade with somebody. Seattle offered them more than enough, in my opinion, to get them to move. I would not give them my 3rd round pick to get up to number 9 to take a quarterback. So we're going to go back to the mock draft, and we're going to have Chicago picking, and their team needs quarterback they already took, edge, wide receiver, offensive center, defensive tackle. I think if you're going to draft a first round pick, a quarterback, you're going to need somebody who can defend him, who can support him, and that's probably going to be Joe Alt, the offensive tackle from Notre Dame. So he's going to be my 2nd pick, assuming they don't trade. Now, at number 10, the Jets don't really have a lot of needs on offense or on defense. But Robert Saleh, we know, wants to draft defense. The Jets organization may want to draft somebody else. We don't really know. But in my opinion, the Jets are going to go ahead and probably take the top-rated edge rusher, which is Dallas Turner, the edge from Alabama. Now, again, we're going to have to propose a trade here. And we're going to do that where we are going to actually propose the trade between the Chargers and the Minnesota Vikings, who are where? I know you're all screaming at me, looking at it. Where are the Vikings? There they are. And we're gonna pretend that they are gonna send 11 and 23, and they're gonna trade basically everything. 37, you name it, whatever. They're gonna propose that. And we're going to confirm, and it's been rejected again. So you know what? This whole video, we could just